50.
49.
48.
47.
46.
45.
44. 43.
42.
41.
40.
39.
38.
37. 36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30.
29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
9.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
Just kidding.
7.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1.
Bună seara! Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Evening. What an awesome entrance with 10, 9, 7. It was great.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yes.
For those
Sorry, Irina.
those who don't know me, I'm Irina, part of Weddcamp and part of Critica photography. Tonight we'll speak in English because it's a very special evening. Our guests are Isabelle and Linda. Hi.
Hi.
I'm very happy to see you again. I suppose you already know Isabelle and Linda. They are both from the Netherlands.
Yes.
You may have already met them at Weddcamp conference. And tonight they're giving us a very valuable critique session.
We hope so.
I want to thank both of you for accepting our invitation and for this new opportunity to learn from you. Okay, this is it. We have 2 hours to chat and to learn.
Yes.
But first, how is life treating you? How is your photography business? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, sure.
It's September, which means it's crazy busy. I always have this. I try to keep this rule of keeping August as empty as possible in terms of work. So I've had my holiday and try to stay away of editing a little bit. And now my kids are back to school, and it's full on editing of all the weddings from June and July and picking up new weddings. And it's actually great. I'm really fortunate with the clients that I'm having this year. We're really making great connections. So I'm really happy with how everything is going. It's busy, but in a good and fun way. I think that most wedding photographers can relate to this time of the year. So that's from my end.
Thank you, Linda. And Isabelle?
Yes, same. It was a very busy year because I had my season was literally from June till September. Well, this weekend I had a wedding with Jill Streefland in Spain, and 2 weeks before in France, and then I had to go on holiday with the kids in Italy, and before that a wedding in Ireland, and also in Holland some. And now I'm like, I feel a little bit exhausted. It's like all my big weddings are now finished, so now I have to go to my cave and start editing. Yes. So but it's okay, you know. I'm really like, okay, I'm so ready to go behind my computer and do nothing anymore like that. So yes, but it was really nice experiences, very good clients, like real experiences, adventures this year, and this life makes me happy still after. yes. So yeah.
Have you changed anything in your photography business?
Well, I'm being more expensive now. Yes. Well, I always work with 2 photographers, and during COVID, I did that with one person, I had to go back for two persons, and I really rely on that. That makes the quality of my weddings, and have a light plan, and make more creative shots better. And I do some kind of, I'm doing more the weddings that I really love, like my clients are really people that I could be friends, and that is during the years more and more. It's not that I changed my plans, it's just 10 or 15 weddings a year, but really clients that I think, oh, I could love them, you know. So that's, of course, there's always a wedding that's not like that. We all have that, but most of them, they're like that. Yeah. So it's more settled, and every year I'm more I have more clients that suits with me. Yeah.
How about you, Linda? Anything new? Any plans? Any?
Yeah, I recognize the trend of like feeling that the work that I put out there these days attracts the right kind of clients for me. And I have a lot of clients this year that have very personal, special stories due to either illness or some special situation. Or so it's like Isabelle said, you become more than a photographer for your clients, to be part of their life and what their experience is. And they put a really high value on your work, which is nice. I also try to shoot like around 12 to 15 weddings, and which we also, that if I only do that amount of weddings, I don't want to do weddings for people that don't value me enough or don't value my style. I'm kind of strict in what I want to put out there and what kind of clients I want to attract. So that, I think, have changed. I've had years, especially before COVID, with a lot more weddings that it was even like the back-to-back, like Friday, Saturday, and sometimes even on a Wednesday you had a wedding. And well, I'm getting older, and this work, I like to be in it for the long run and not exhaust myself or burn myself out after 5 years having pain in my body. I want to do this for a longer period of time. So I think with that in mind, you need to reorganize your business. So how can I make at least the same amount of money with lesser weddings? Which other things can you offer besides weddings? Isabelle has created this amazing workshop in the Netherlands called No Customer Stories, and I'm one of the teachers that's part of a group of 6. And I think we're really teaching the next generation of wedding photographers how to be there. So also, I know Isabelle does a lot of mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring as well. Also a way to still be part of the business, but there's also a way to train and to teach new photographers as well, which I really love. And as of this fall, I'm also going to be included in a local program here to learn how to create photography classes for kids at school. So I'm going to maybe also teach some photography at schools over the next couple of years. So expanding business, expanding experiences, that's a little bit of the process that I'm in right now.
That sounds great. Congrats to both of you. You are amazing. You always do interesting stuff. That's why I'm asking you, because I was sure you were up to something.
Yeah, we always are. It's like we have a great community in Holland, and
You do.
we are all, a lot of us are good friends, and we do projects together, like the workshop with 6 teachers for photojournalism. And it's because we are so close to each other. You know, it's a small country, and it's nice to share our passion together. So yes, and you, Irina, how are you?
Well, it's not about me tonight.
I know, but I'm just curious. I just after a couple of years, you know, did you have a busy wedding season?
Yes, it's pretty busy, but I'm also teaching, and I'm also starting a new business called Alma Calma.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a cottage that we have, and we want to transform it in a guest house. And this is something new and thrilling.
Nice. That sounds great.
And I hope you both will visit us here because it's a really nice place.
Oh, cool. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm busy too. And of course, I'm also busy with my son, who is 16. And
oh, wow, 16 already. Nice. Nice.
16 already, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds great.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what the photographers have sent.
Yeah, I think
let's see some images.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I get this bigger in any way, but let me see if I can. I was able to split my screen. It's like technical. Does this work? Yeah, I think this is better. Or this is the largest that I get it. Where shall we start, Isabelle?
Well, maybe we can do it like every time. Okay. Somebody's phone is there. That you start with the first picture, I start with the second, and when you finish, I add something or not.
Yeah, and the other way around.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to look up because I look at it at the bigger screen. I really love the idea of putting multiple layers in one frame, which I see here. I like the way it's been editing. But I feel, especially, I'm going to dive right into this critique. This may be one thing to say before we start. We're Dutch. We can be a little bit blunt, a little bit direct sometimes, but we try to build up a critique as well to make you learn something. And we always say we're tough love. We love your work and we love the effort. We also want you to learn from it. So that's where we come from when giving our critique.
Yes.
So do you have anything to add for
yes.
that as well?
Yeah, and sometimes we say you should took this picture from another corner, and you think by yourself, no, I could not stand there because there was a closet or something. We don't know that. We just think about the best situation that you could have that make you the best picture. So if you think, it's too dark. Oh, sorry. There's like
there's a light assistant.
Then there's sunshine, and it's like so. We don't know the situation, and we always think that you have the best situation there is, and you could do everything that was possible. So we think about that, like you could stand in every corner. So there was maybe a wall, a closet, or a window. We don't know that. So,
or in this situation, maybe another table or something like that. But like Isabelle's saying, we try also to encourage you, like if there was indeed a wall and you could not go back, also to challenge you, like, is this still the best place to be then? If there's nothing else, should you maybe move or take it from another angle? So that's where we're coming from. Starting with this image, like I said, I really love how it's built up with the layers. The first question that comes into my mind when looking at this is that if I see the groom, I expect him to be the groom. He's looking at something, like his eyes. I don't know if this is going to work with my mouse. It's going to be, no, you don't can see. But his eyes are directing, or he's leading his look into something that's on the floor. Maybe another kid, maybe the cake fell off, maybe, I don't know. But there's a lot of question for me where they are looking at something down there. And the thing they're looking at, it's not in the frame. So either, I think, to really tell the story here, because I think it's an image that is really storytelling. It's with all the layers and all the people included in it. But I miss a certain context to actually understand, as a person that has not been at this wedding, to understand what the story is about. Are the people just walking in? Then I would expect that they have like more of an open look, looking into the room or the garden is in this specific moment, that they're more being looking around, but now they're both looking down, and all I want is to know where are they looking at. And this photo is not giving me.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, the connection was low.
we're back.
Yes.
We're back.
Almost back. Linda's gone.
I'm
Oh, yeah, there you are, Linda. Yay.
Am I back? Oh God.
Yes. Okay.
Did
Well, the last thing that I heard was that they are looking down and you don't know why.
yes, and it's like when you're telling a story, I want to be. Oh, sorry. Oh, this. Now Irina is gone.
No, I see still. Okay.
I'm
Maybe
here listening to you.
Yeah, I am in a good connection. Maybe you can take it over. Oh, yes. Well, okay, you're there again. Maybe if the connection is low, we take each other over. You know.
Yeah. Wait. Do you get a message if my because I haven't get a notification if it's low?
No, I didn't. No.
No.
No. Okay. Well, I think I agree with Linda. I need some context. I need more story around it because they are looking at it, but you don't know where they're looking at. I want a full story. And I really love it that it's well framed. It's in the middle of all those stands, like they have no stand out of their heads. So this is well framed. I think this picture would be better if you took a little bit of distance, that you could see them wider, hand clapping, and maybe from a little bit to the left and lower, that you can see them right into the faces. Then you lose all the layers. I love the layers, but you could make a layer with the person or something that they're looking at. So it's already a really nice picture, but for me, as a person that I was not there, I would love to understand it. What's happening there? That's my question all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I think we're on the same page for this one. So I think well done, put effort in putting the layers and everything in position. But then the next step is how can I make the story really pop out? And then for that, you need an extra context or an extra layer in this specific case.
Okay, this picture, I really love the layers again. I really love it that this person is coming very close to the people, and he or she is making layers with people. She placed them. It's not about the architecture, it's about the people. And I love, there is something, I see something Romania in my screen. I don't know what it means.
We are waiting for your questions. So if anybody has got any questions for you, is kindly asked to send them.
Oh, okay. If you have questions, tell. Ask. So I see this as a picture that somebody's speaking, and the bride is really doing something else. So for me, it's also the storytelling part is a little bit low because the background has no connection with the foreground. She's not listening. She's not having any emotion or connection to the person who is screaming something into the microphone. And I would love to see that. You know, I want to feel and get entertained by this picture. Now it's beautiful, beautiful layers, but I don't feel it. So I should wait till she's looking at the person with the microphone, or the person with the microphone is looking to the bride. I don't know if there are more pictures of these moments that are more storytelling. So if you have this beautiful layer, keep shooting till you have this story. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I really love the black and white conversion for this image. It's really well edited, but like you said, you have this foreground and background, and they should somehow connect with each other. And one addition, I found the hand of, I think it's the bride in my frame, a little bit cropped too tight, if it's cropped, or framed too tight. And I'm wondering what she's holding. If she's holding like the same, how do you call that thing?
Wire. We say wire.
We say wire. Wire. No, if she's holding it, then also her hand can maybe mimicking something like the lady in front with the microphone is doing as well. So I would really.
Oh, it's money. It's money.
It's
She's
money.
holding money as well. I don't know what the bride is holding because that's been cut off, and I would really love to see what's in her hands as well. And maybe it's the same. Maybe it's money as well. Maybe it's money and that swingy thingy as well.
Now I see the story. They are negotiating probably about money. You know, if she's offering money and the other person is in negotiating, I think it's something like that. You see it, Linda?
Yeah.
So, but then still, I need that information. To who?
Yeah. And her face doesn't have much expression. And maybe she's this type of bride that doesn't show you a lot of emotions during the day, which can also like maybe be really isolated and kind of funny compared to the contrast of other people's that are. But then at least the other two women should give a little bit more to emphasize the lack of emotion that she's giving.
Yes.
I see a few comments, by the way, Irina.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are questions
called Codux V.
Yes.
Tries to explain the situation a little. That she had the money in her hand, and that is a bit difficult to understand the photo because it's culturally different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say I fully understand it, but I imagine that that lady with the microphone is paid to say some things or to sing some songs for certain people there. So this is a kind of wedding. I haven't had many like this. Actually, I haven't had any. No, not many.
I've seen this, I think, in I don't know. I've seen this, I think, in a Hindu wedding once. Or
in Hindu, and also
person is also like
in the Balkan areas. This is
getting the crowd excited and offering money to the bride and the groom. I think.
Yes, and somebody say it's interesting to hear opinions from people that don't know the Romanian traditions. And that's, if you want to apply for awards, always think about that you have an international judge. We don't know the religion always. That's true. But to be honest, I also have Hindu weddings. I had an Arabic wedding. I've been familiar with money on a wedding. But then still, for me, this is not really a clear image about money because I really miss this link in her hands, and that's the money. Then the full story would be more clear, to be honest.
So I think if you only have like a little bit of extra information on the left, see that she has the money in her hand as well, then that money is connected to the money in the hand of the women. And if then somehow the women also could connect, I think you would have an amazing, like this is already an amazing image, but then you add that extra level that really, I think, speaks universally.
Yes. Okay.
Good point.
Okay, I need to go. Oh. Yes.
I think it's a tradition again, Linda.
I've been judging for this Romanian contest a few times, and I'm also so jealous of the amount of traditions and that you include in your weddings. And then I found our Dutch weddings so boring. I think he's holding. I immediately think about the biscuits that you also put in tiramisu, which we call long fingers in the Netherlands.
They are the same, actually.
Yeah, it's
we call it lange vingers.
Yeah. It's really built up well, but almost there for me. This picture, I really like how it's either shoot or cropped really tight, really focusing on the moment or the gesture in the middle. I really like his expression, which is like also a little bit of this little, almost like a toddler getting something brought to him from his mom or from his dad. He's like really like, oh, I don't have anything to say about this myself. In terms of composition, I would really love is like there's a little bit of space behind his neck and a little bit of overlap with the women behind him, which are out of focus, of course. If that gap could behind his head could be a little bit smaller, and therefore there could be a little bit more separation with the women behind him. But that's my critique, I think, for this image.
Yes, I agree with Linda. I would have a little bit distance. I think this is like an 85, or I don't know. This is not a 35 millimeters lens. This is better to do with a storytelling lens, like 35 or something, and get more close if that's possible. Because I think it's a little bit blurry. Maybe 2.8 it is taken, but this kind of images with layering I would put on aperture 4 or 5.6 or higher, because I want all those faces a little bit more, that I could read the picture a bit better, that it's not blurry in the foreground. And also, of course, this priest, I would see more face of him. So a little bit of distance, a little bit more of the candlelight that you see. It's a tradition. And I really think it's a good thing the moment you also told it like a toddler. I see it like it's a focused groom. I love that. But yeah, it's just like microcomposing and taking another lens for this, if that's possible, for this ceremony.
Yeah, if you're allowed that close to be there. But I agree. I would love to see a little bit more information on the priest, so a little bit of extra information on the right side. So I don't know if this is a crop, but if so, I would definitely play around what would be like to maybe shift it a little bit, because I think the guy on the left can lose a little bit. You can start from his ear on and then maybe add some extra information on the other side.
Yes.
Champagne.
Champagne, I like it. I really like it. This is a kind of moment you have to do speed, take a lot of pictures from this kind of moments. What can make this picture better is just that you took the best picture of the emotions. For me, this middle woman, I would love to see her emotions, so the hands could be more down, but maybe this is the best. I love the champagne is fluting. For me, it's nice. It's like the photographer said, we're going to stand there and then you're going to pop the champagne and get it very close. For me, it's more like I would love to see this kind of pictures. If you would like to make it more interesting, is make it more storytelling. Where does it happen? Are there more people involved? How does this room look like? And is it floating all over the stuff there? It's nice, it's beautiful. I'm not a person that is cleaning the background. I like to add more in a picture to tell a story. So I would like to know where it's happening. Is it happening on a toilet? Is it happening in a hotel room? Is it happening on a reception? Is it happening you don't know where it is. So for me, that's the thing. I think the moment is good. I don't know if it's the best moment and how many pictures that he has on this moment, but this kind of moments you really need like 10 to 30 pictures, like bang, 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 bang. Took the full moment and then put out the best of it. So yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, when I first saw this picture, I was like, wow, it's such a bold move to take this picture with such a bright background. And still with your editing probably, or in your lighting in camera, of course, to get this kind of expression out. I personally always stay away of shooting directly into windows or direct sunlight. But for that, I really applaud how this has been executed. I agree with terms of telling the story and showing the emotions of like the hands. It's almost hiding like What if, like, for example, you would be sitting down next to the women on the complete right and have her hands as a leading in, and then see the expression of the bride and maybe a little bit more of the room where they are. But it's more of a suggestion, and I think more in terms of style and exploring different angles to capture this kind of moments instead of just square them up basically and straightforward, and also working with lighting from another angle. So that's more of an tip to try and to experiment than per se a critique on this image. Okay, next one. Oh. I think this is. It was my turn. Was it Isabelle? Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Before I take over completely. No, kidding. I think this is for me like a typical client picture, and I mean that in the best way possible. I think if people are getting married, they of course have the expectation of the I do, the first kiss, exchange of rings, more of the standard things that we think of. But I think these are the kind of pictures that you deliver and that they will cherish and keep in their heart really close for the rest of their lives. These are the pictures that they will hold on to dearly. That said, how can you further improve this kind of images? It feels a little bit staged for me. Like, is this a genuine moment, or did the photographer ask, I think, the parents of the groom to really give the guy a kiss or lean in? I would actually love to see the lips touching the cheek, and especially have the woman on the left more closer to him, like the father is really on the right, really right next to the cheek, and her mom she's having more distance. Really have it more evened out to bring more symmetry in this picture as well, and then really let the magic happen there, basically. So that would be my suggestion for this kind of images.
Yes, I agree with Linda, totally. For me, it's I think that it's cropped. It's too tight crops that I see it's a crop. I think the best crop is that you don't know that it is a crop. So I always say it's like a bride's makeup. You don't see it's the makeup. You think, oh, she shines so beautiful, but it's really the makeup. It's like a crop too, that you don't know it's a crop. And I agree with that it's staged, for my opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I think that's why it's also a client picture. You had fun with your clients and they kissed the groom, the parents kissed their son, and they have fun about it. And I'm like, oh, do I really need to do this? And and that's really, really nice. It's good that you have this connection with your clients and you can give that to them. And it's a nice memory you created. But it, for me, as a photographer, it's not a genuine feeling that it was out of the blue, that these parents had the feeling, oh, really, I have to kiss my son because he's getting married. Then it's a totally different emotion in that way. And for me, as somebody who was not there, then you feel like, oh, haha, yes. And now you think, oh, it's so sweet for them. So, you can always choose as a photographer to create this kind of moments, or just wait if it will happen or not. That's a choice that you have on a wedding, I think, and being conscious about it, that you can catch those real moments or create it. What is it what you want? Do you want that for the clients, or do you want real moments? That's an option, I think. But about how it looks like and what you said about being more symmetric, I totally agree also.
Yeah,
Isabelle, can I ask you a question, please? Sorry, Linda.
Yeah, what I wanted to add is sometimes these are the moments that a photographer asks, okay, can you lean in and kiss him? And I'm really curious what happens, if the kiss actually happens, and then afterwards, then maybe mom comes in, oh, I want to get the lipstick out of your face, and the father's like, good way, son. Then even though you're kind of making the suggestions for a situation to happen, the reactions afterwards are pretty genuine. So I think these can also be moments where you should never stop taking pictures. You can, okay, lean in for a kiss, and then maybe it happens because you requested it. but then afterwards something genuine can actually happen. So in these kind of pictures, it's the same with family portraits and formals. Keep shooting, because I think genuine moments can also be just your next shot.
Yes.
Sorry, Arina.
Thank you. Isabelle, can you explain us a bit more about this idea of cropping? It's not okay if you feel the crop, if you can perceive it. Why?
Yeah. Why? Because you feel it's, I don't know why. It's just that if I see it's a crop, I think it was not a good picture in the beginning, and you try to fix it. I have that feeling. That's my own feeling. And when you don't know it's a crop, you have it really well done, because I didn't see it. It was so natural. It doesn't feel natural now. It feels too tight. It feels like, oh no, you could not shoot this in this way. It's, and maybe I'm wrong. Of course, maybe this person took this picture in this way immediately, and it doesn't matter if it's good or wrong. It's just that it doesn't feel so natural anymore if I see it's a crop. It feels for me like, oh, you tried to fix the picture. Yeah.
I see. Thank you. What do you think about that, Linda? About crop?
Yeah, I really recognize the feeling sometimes. Also, when judging for competitions, you just feel like there's something off, and you cannot really like point your finger to it. Like, what is it? How it's compressed, or is it too tight? And then you feel like, okay, I'm missing too much information. And sometimes you can also see it in the picture that like the pixels aren't the way I think they're originally. If you only keep like 20% of the picture that you shot, so like you've got 100% framing, and this is the only part that you're delivering, it's gonna show. And also like the tightness is going to feel. And sometimes even well cropped or well taken pictures can sometimes feel a little bit too tight. And I think it's a combination for me of that feeling like not having like the pixels working the right way, and also having it too tight. Yeah,
you're definitely right, because your notes is saying that yes, it's a crop.
Yes, I saw it.
So you're right.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more information, and then we would not see it.
Yeah. Take 2 steps, you're there, and let them kiss and shoot and shoot and shoot. Keep shooting, and just put your camera in their faces. And they're maybe
But
gonna
do you think
that
the client would have this feeling that it's a crop, it's something missing?
No.
Or is it something that only people like us, photographers, can?
Yes, definitely. I think
we're good for the client, but not so good in a competition. Yeah.
No, I think in a competition there are, in terms of this kind of moments that are really true genuine moments, there's way too much competition. But like I said, this is a perfect picture for a client. And they're gonna love, and I think they're gonna love this, and especially when people are gonna be missing in the future. These are the moments that I think will last long for especially for your clients.
Absolutely.
In the end, we're shooting for our clients, and that's the most important.
And we're looking at the photographer's way, because we want to grow as a photographer. So then we look at crops. Yeah.
Yeah, we're nitty pitty. Yeah. Okay, next one, Isabelle.
Oh yeah. Yes, for me, it's what I like is that this photographer tried to try to make a moment during the photo session. I think he's trying to do the first dance, like add some movement, just not standing there. So that's a good thing. Well, this for me is like, if you do this with a photo session, it's just the starting point of making something creative. For me, it's also like too much right into the sun. This should be a silhouette or not, and this is in between. So I would go lower, maybe a little bit closer, put the sun a little bit to the left, and make a silhouette and let them dance. If you want to make a creative photo shoot shot, more lowered, so you have some grasses and some bouquet in front of your camera. So you shoot more through the grass. So this is the starting point of building a picture. I'm curious about what the pictures are after this, or just stand on this point all the time. You keep clicking, making hundreds of it, or you're just building a little bit of close, a little bit to the left, and make a silhouette, put the sun a little bit to the left, have more blue sky. So I was curious about the ending picture if you just stay there. For me, it's always building on a moment, a project, keep shooting till the moment is over, but it's also with a photo session, I keep shooting till I really think, okay, this is the most creative I can get out of this situation.
Yeah, I agree. This is for me like the start, and I was looking at the dress, and if you already see like the kind of light that is touching the dress, this gives you so many creative options. I'm in love with what this light is doing with all the flary stuff that is around her body. So I think you need to go be flat on your belly on the grass and try to at least get them in front of the sun. If you want to have the sun included, especially this bright, this time of the day, like Isabelle said, use it as a silhouette. Get lower, work with a silhouette, and I think you can work beautifully, even with maybe with motion, if it's possible in this bright conditions. But like Isabelle said, it's a starting point, and it feels for me like medium now. Like it's not well exposed for the couple, but it's not overexposed, it's not underexposed. It's like safe in the middle, and I think you can challenge yourself to get out of the middle and experiment in these situations.
Yes, true. And I also think that it's good that this photographer took a lot of movement. If you go for silhouettes, you need more body language, more movements. It's in the betweens of the spaces that are telling the story. I don't know how I can explain that, but you can't see faces and emotions, so you need body language. So you need expression with the body, like, big movements. So this first dance is a good move, but then work it out.
Yeah, I'm happy to read that Daniel has more pictures of it.
Yes. Okay.
We go down instead of lying in the grass. We're now lying at the feet of the bride.
Wait, my boyfriend says he's at the background. He really wants to get your ass in the grass. Yes. Well, this photographer did on the ground. Yes. No, goes very low. Yeah. But it's your turn, Linda.
Yes, I need to absorb it for a little bit. It's the bride to be, and on the left, it's her like this. The lighting and the editing is really well executed. But I'm just wondering if there's really something happening here. If it's just a pretty picture in the best way, and I'm saying this in the best way possible, because the light is pretty. She looks pretty. You've got all the hands. But is there really a moment there? Is she's just gazing outside? If she's not, I would love to have seen her make a connection to one of the ladies that is standing next to her, for example. And this angle for me kind of gives her a lot of distance, and her gaze is also distant. So she doesn't feel very approachable for me right now. So I wonder what I've done in this situation if you would have actually been coming up a little bit and standing a little bit back instead of getting this low. Like if you want to get this low and really get all the hands in, I also want to see the hand corsage of the lady in the left in as well. So I would actually maybe have it a little bit up. Maybe I would say it's squared up a little bit more from the front and see what that would do for this picture. And then wait. Like, okay, all these hands are coming in. The situation is awesome. And your light is beautiful. And how can she look, or what kind of connection are you hoping for? That actually tells a little bit of her relationship with all these women that are helping her. I would definitely see if there would be a moment like that added to this picture.
Yeah, I also would like to add, I have the feeling this picture is set up also. I don't know if it's typically Romania that you take a moment with friends or family and take them apart from the rest and create some kind of moment. I don't know if that's, but in Holland, it's not. You just shoot what happens. And for me, that doesn't feel for me that it happened like this. And this photographer, for me, had interrupted, like, maybe we could stand like this and everybody can go around her and look at the dress. And everybody's like, yes, yes. And then
watch the dress, look to...
Yeah. Yes, I think I already saw that with weddings abroad, that it's more common to create a moment during the getting ready, during, and for me, it doesn't feel genuine. How do you say it? Genuine. And I really need that to get touched here. I need to feel it, like, oh. And now I don't see emotions in her face, and I really think it's like you are this pit bull that is hunting for those real moments. That for me is photography. And of course, you go to clients, they're very happy with it. But if you want to take the best out of yourself as a photographer, you need to look for these real moments like this and not create it, I think.
Yeah, and you can always suggest to the bride, like, okay, let's stand over here, because then you're catching the light beautifully. I do that as well. But then let the other just play around her, like,
let it happen
in a natural way. She almost feels like a doll for me, like she's standing there, almost like this mannequin.
Yeah,
she's a little bit like even almost disconnected from the scene and the people around her. And I think those women are there for a reason. They probably are her best friends. They're maybe sisters. They're connected, and like you get the best. You can position her in the prettiest light. But then the connection. Why are these women here? Why did you choose them to be in this room this morning or afternoon? I think that should be the story, and let that connection evolve in a natural way.
Yes, she needs to laugh to her best friends or cry or just feel, now she's just posing, standing there waiting for the picture. For my feeling, maybe I am wrong, but that's the feeling that I have. Yeah, so.
Are there any comments, Irina, that we should address, or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I really love that it's a very funny moment. I would just took this picture and not vertically, but horizontally, because I don't see any reason to make it vertical, because I miss her face, I miss the action, the background. If you do it vertically, even if you have to do it more close up, it's already clear that it's under the dress. So if you don't have any space, don't worry if you don't see a lot of the bride. It's already clear. I really think the editing could be a little bit more. Now it's like brushed on the dog, so bright, and the dress is so dark. In real life, it isn't, I think, she has a white dress. So that could be more subtle. But I think the moment is really catched very well. That it's a funny moment, but then you need to work it out. Take it just 95% of my pictures are horizontal, because we see the world as horizontal. It's very difficult to put some information, storytelling information on the top or on the bottom of your picture. It's very important to storytelling pictures is always the best to do it horizontally. So yeah, you can let that go. It makes it much more easy. It makes it more, you can be in the same flow all the time. Look, for me, this is already enough. I have enough information to understand this picture, and it's still funny. So if I have these moments, I should keep shooting, because how does this dog comes out of the dress? Is it like in a fight with the dress, or, you know, I don't know how many pictures you took of this picture, this photographer, but there should be 100 pictures of this moment.
Yeah, so I saw in the comments like, okay, can you, for example, show us how to crop this? I made an example of how it could be horizontal, but this is an example of, I have like, it's only still a third of the original image, and now it feels like the resolution and everything is not correct. And of course, you probably also send in a lower resolution file, so I cannot completely see how it's going. But I think this angle straightforward to the dog. And also, I'm wondering, like, what happens next? Are they allowing the dog to be there for such a long time, or will she be interfering, getting him out, and then maybe get his paws out, and they're going to be fighting? And I think there's a lot of potential, and maybe nothing happens, and it just sits there, and this is the kind of dog that gets away with everything. Then just show the dog as it is. And I think there's a lot of. I will get rid of the crop again. If we go back to the original image, the light in the back is very attracting in a negative way. Like we always have this thing where you say, "From okay, if we have a picture," and oh, sorry, I need to look where my. If you turn it upside down, and where is my eye looking at? It's the brightest point in the picture, which is now the right bottom corner, which is basically where the window is, and not even the dog, which the editing tried to highlight, but it's still competing. It's still competing with the light in the background. And I think if you get lower, square up, take this picture horizontally, you also eliminate the highlights in the background and can really focus on the lighting of the dog with the dress in the background. So that was my additional for this one.
Nice.
Okay. Chicken. Also, I think a similar example of why I already say we, but I prefer, and I know Isabelle as well, prefer horizontal pictures. What's happening to the right is even, and what's happening to the left. The bride is holding someone. There's a chicken coming in. There's a car, and I've got so much questions about the situation, which can be, I think, very humorous, very interesting. But because the picture is horizontal, I miss a lot of information. And the first things that comes to mind is, what am I missing to the left and to the right? And as a viewer, if those are the first questions that come into mind when looking at a picture, it shows that the picture doesn't contain the right amount of context for me to tell a story. So now it's just a chick and a car and a bride, which is out of focus. But I'm wondering if you maybe for this picture, take a step back, really get your camera low, maybe position the chicken on the right, make sure it's separated from the car in the background, and have the bride and the person that is holding her to the left. I think this can be like a fun transition, because I think they're transitioning to a different scene, transitional storytelling picture.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's also because on the bottom and you don't have any information, and also not high in the sky. So I have the lack of information what's happening on the left and on the right, just as Linda told, and also the tail of the chicken. And of this, what I see is a lot of good compositions. This is like a good composition, but for me, photography is always about the moment. So I would love to see the connection between the chicken and the bride, or this bride gets scared of the chicken, like woof, you know. It's just the chicken and the bride on the road. That's nice, but I like to see a story. I like to see expressions, emotions. You have a starting point and then work it out. And maybe you only have 3 seconds for this, but it's very important to have more than just a chicken and a bride on the right spot in your composition. You need the story about it. So, yeah.
I see in the comments that this is a dance. I was thinking about it's the same, like the horror, when people are dancing around. How fun would it be to see the whole circle of people and then like completely isolated, have this chicken in the middle? You need to have this in order to, if you don't need to explain the story, what's happening, it's lacking, it's missing that context in your image. And I think an image should express itself completely standalone without you standing next to it, like explaining it, well, that was actually this and this happens then. I think if it's not in the picture, then it's not telling the story, and you should try to include it.
Absolutely. And it's that you tell that there's a circle named Ora. I could not understand it without that information. So we need the circle, the full circle.
Yeah, full circle and a chick in the middle.
It's my turn, is it?
Yes.
Yes. It's a beautiful composition again, a beautiful bride. It's good that you have the leading eye in the middle for the composition. It's only that it feels also again like a starting picture. I need a little bit more of her hand. It's too tight. If you have a post picture, then make the crop very well. For me, I would like to see more expression, a little bit. It doesn't have to be a loud expression. It can still very a still expression, but I need to see some shyness or some sweetness or maybe a laugh, or like, it doesn't matter what kind of expression, but now it's just, I'm posing for the picture. So coming close to people is not the most difficult thing, but that people are really giving themselves, they're showing their vulnerability to the photographer is a skill. It's like really seeing people, and now they're posing for a camera. You always need to make a connection that they really see you and you see them, and this camera, they forget it, you know? So for me, it's a beautiful picture, but you have to keep shooting and take the really in-between moments that they forget the camera and see you and laughing and have a good connection with you, because then I feel the picture. Now it's just how it looks like. And I really would like to have both. How it looks like and how it feels like.
Yeah, I kind of like her look. But it could also be the fact that I've been staring at it for quite a while now. Because but for this kind of pictures, it's portraits, it's creative portraits. I really like to be very precise with how I positioned everything. Like you said, the hand should be completely included, also like this part. And I would love to have the veil like completely here in the middle, so that the eyebrow wouldn't be interfered with the veil on the left side, and that the angle, like the end of the veil, would really also be lower and completely cover her right eye. So I like to be symmetrical, and if you do this kind of portraits, and I like the idea with the veil hanging half over one eye and showing the other eye, but you need to make it exactly precise. Then make it symmetrical, going from her forehead to her nose, and then cover one eye completely, and not now there's just a little bit of the eye showing, and it's touching a little bit of the eyebrow. But I think, like Isabelle said for a few pictures as well, this is like a starting point, and from then on is tweaking. But this is the stage you're already in with this picture. I really love this kind of portraits as well, opposite to a lot of documentary, more journalistic photos that we see. But I think if you're going to execute this, it's really on the spot and on the detail. That would be my critique for this one.
Yes, I agree. It's if you do it like, try to make a perfect picture, very abstract. Every little detail counts, because it's the symmetric thing. Yeah. I agree. And somebody says our visual side is horizontal, so I think that vertical images are more suitable for portrait images. Yes, could be. Sometimes this is like a horizontal portrait. I really love this in this way. But it's true. I think vertical is more for portraits.
Yeah, but it sometimes depends. I think if I shoot these days, it is 95% of is horizontal. But sometimes a situation asks for, even storytelling pictures can ask for a vertical picture. I know this Belgian photographer Sanne de Blok has this amazing picture where there are actually two layers. There's an upper level floor and there's a lower level floor, and there's happening something at the bottom and something at the top. And you wouldn't get that in one frame, so she just needed to get horizontal. So it's more like become aware of which elements you should be in the story, and most of the time horizontally works best for our eyes to read it, and sometimes the situation asks otherwise. But become aware of what you want to include, and then choose your best position, I think.
Yes.
Yes, another portrait that for me, I think we've already gone over this a little bit. I like to see connection, and we sometimes see this like, okay, the bride looks away, which gives her like a nice pose, but I think it's her chin, where your chin is touching your shoulder. For me, I would like to see a little bit more space there, and he looks at her, but is not connected to her. So for this also could be like a starting point. How could you get them closer? Could he maybe, I always said, okay, get as close as possible. I want your bellies to really touch each other, get those hips in, and really, and that sometimes is also like a pull. Like he pulls her in, and then she has a response to that. And that for me is a moment included in a portrait session. So because I like to make, but it's a personal style. I like to make portraits during the portrait session that there are still moments in it, so that in 10 years they don't look at a picture and saying like, why did you look at me like that? Well, because the photographer asked you to. No, that they still feel that there are genuine reactions to each other. So and in this specific example, the veil is also like a third person in this portrait. I really would love to see more. Take a little bit of a step back. Let her hands hold him as well. Make it include hands, make connection as well. Take a step back and make that leading line of the veil a little bit longer. That would be my suggestion for this picture.
Yes, I totally agree with Linda. And this veil, the photographer had to do it like, it's like, and this, I'm always looking also at genuine moments in the betweens of the posing pictures, because then you feel they're having fun, and they have also that memory. Oh yeah, it was fun, our posing session. We had a good time. And the hands, I always say to the couple, like, it doesn't matter what you do, but keep your hands connected, because like hands through the body, it looks like distance on a picture, even if it's like only this to the hands, or you have a good hug, or you keep the hands moving, it's like they are really connected and they feel each other also. So I always say that's very important, to lead a little bit the couple, that they really need that connection to each other. Just connect, this is your moment. You only have all the other moments of the day you have to speak with guests. This is not only posing session, but this is really your moment all together. You can fall in love now. You can have this memory together. I say that to create at posing moments. Try to create moments for genuine, that they have a nice memory too, and they are going to feel this connection. So you can see that on the picture.
Yeah, I think if you change it for posing for the photographer into quality time for the couple, they have a very different mindset for this period of time.
Yeah.
They're not taking away time from the guests to be with you. No, they're taking time away from the guests to be with each other. And I think that's a really nice way. I also sell. They're like, oh, it's nice. Just take me with you and we have some private time. I'm just there like a third wheel, and I just take some pictures. It's really help my clients to just relax very, very easily and help them to be at ease.
I do it also like just before dinner, and I took them away for just 5 minutes, and then I say, you can have gossip about all the guests, you can just give each other a little bit of a hug, and then you go back to the crowd, but then you just have like 5 minutes for each other. They don't have a clue that's my posing time, but I think it's a totally different other mindset that you get more intimate pictures of your wedding couple when you sell it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, your turn.
Yes. I really think it's creative thought of the photographer, like a joke that the people are their heads on, still in this shadow. And it feels like, okay, now they're come out and everybody's there, but they're not still there. It's an almost moment. But I don't know if I really, it's not that I have to laugh about it. It's not that I think I don't know if it adds something to the story, this joke. I think if you do something creative, it would be very abstract and creative, that you only have like a very close image of people without head coming out of the church. And now it's like a storytelling image with some creative stuff within. It's a little bit confusing for me. I would love to see, for me, I'm too easy. I want to see a storytelling picture that people are coming out of the church and they are very happy and laughing to everybody and having connection with everybody and, happiness. So I think, to be honest, maybe the moments after it, they're probably more normal, but I probably love that more.
Yeah. First, I have a big screen here and I can see that it's brushed on top. It's there in the shade, but it's made extra. If you're gonna brush things out, make sure it's not seen. That would be my first advice. I love the idea of the headless couple. I think, it's kind of a humor, but somehow it doesn't work perfectly. There's a lot of distraction, like the white thing. I was looking if I could maybe see what a crop would do for this one.
Exactly, a crop would be better. It needs to be more abstract.
If you get rid of the highlights of the white, but the bouquets and the people that are making it. But it's I think this is one of these situations that you could see this. You have this ambition as a photographer, like, it could be like, oh shit, my mouse. It could be an image like this, because for me it's got a lot of potential. But and then like this, I think this already makes it stronger. But there you have the AED sign not helping. It would have worked better if the people were standing just half a meter closer to the door, and there are more arms and more bouquets leading to this situation. I think this crop already works better. We got a promotion next Weddcamp. It's next year. Good one. Go. If you already didn't buy your ticket, I could highly recommend it. It's amazing.
Buy it now. Tomorrow is too late. Now.
Yeah, we're fans for life. You know that, Arina. Yeah. I could be speaker every year there. I'm so to your community. So divided. Okay, let's see. There's a suggestion. If try to crop like this: groom and bride in lower left. Lower left. You mean like this?
Groom and bride in lower left, but cut the people from the left.
Yeah, I'm looking at the feet. Yeah, I think that now it's going to feel too cropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
you feel
like this is not the original picture anymore. And I don't know if you can see it, because on the other screen you can see it, but there's here like this white line of the door, which is half brushed, half not. The community
a little bit higher, but then you have
showing. So I don't know, but I think it's a little higher.
I think that you have the sign.
You have the feet as well. Yeah, and then there's the side coming in, and I really don't like to chop off her feet. So I think you need to be aware of which elements you want to have included, and some body parts. Yeah, if you don't cut and they have a feet off, it's either the entire feet, which then you're gonna miss the shoes of the groom and the brides, or if it's just an ankle, it doesn't work for me anymore. Then I want to see the shoe, and So, but I would suggest to play with the crop definitely for this image. Maybe like this.
Yes, I think it's funny. More this crop. Yeah, it has a lot of potential, but I totally agree with Linda that people had to stand more close. That you were really confused about what's going on. There are people from the dark without hat, and all those flowers and arms are around it. It's a church. That would be funny, but now it's like the loose ends of, there's like a lot of elements that are, they have to mix and combine it to each other to make it a story, but try to fix it with a crop. This is the best that I think you can get out of the picture. And it's funny, but yeah.
But I think if you're the photographer of this picture and you've seen this and you've shot this and you edited this way, you see something funny in it, and I think you're here 80%. And then there are always these conditions that are maybe not helping you, but you're ready when it happens next time. I think this is a picture that you see now, and the next time you have this bright light and you see the people coming on, you have this picture in mind, and now you know what you need to do to improve it. You choose your angle, make sure what's in the frame on the bottom or on the top of the picture, what to include, what not. Maybe get in closer, shoot it tighter instead of crop it tighter. So I think it's very creative that you already have this in mind to create this kind of images, and next time you will definitely nail it.
Yes, and what I also do is I have always my own projects during a wedding. You can make a project if you have to expose for the highlight the full day because you have a very sunny day and everything is outdoors. You can make your own project, like making pictures of people into the sun without hats. And then suddenly you have your surprise, you have your gold at the end of the day with your own project. So it's very creative that you think like this, but then build it out and try it again later that day with another situation. So that's the play game, it's game time. It's that we need to play as photographers, and that's good. You did.
Yes, and I'm aware you guys don't see the brush, but I can see it, and that means if this would be an image that you would send to a judge or something, they will see it as well. So always when you dodge, burn, I never know what dodge is and what burning is. I think this is burning.
Make it black.
Make it black. Enlarge your picture and make sure that it's not shown, that it's evenly spread out. Okay. Party.
Yay.
Was it your turn or mine, Isabelle?
Your turn.
It's my turn. I always I'm not a great person to do this kind of motion blur technical flash stuff, so I'm always intrigued if people get this right and with a nice motion and everything. But then on the other side, I'm also wondering if that's just it. Is it an extra trick or an extra layer kind of thing that we add to a dance picture? There's a lot of yellow, orange to the left, which I think we're in a crop. I'm in a croppy mood right now. I wonder if this is just the amount of information that you may be needing. Center the bright. And if this highlight at the top should be included or not. So I'm a little bit debating on that side. I like it. I like her expression. But I think I would shoot this tighter and get more closer, and maybe wait for the guy in the back to look up at her and make a connection. It's isolated people dancing. Is it really a story? Is it just a reflection or a registration, basically, of what's happening?
Yes, I totally agree. Wait for the connection between those two. They're having their own party on their own right now, and if it's just a portrait with this kind of light, it's nice. But I always think that party pictures, you really need extrovert expressions to make it interesting. It's very hard to make an outstanding party picture because people are dancing and it always look nice with lights. But for me, it's just waiting till she gets more into the music. She feels it and she's really going loud. I hope.
Never look up.
Yeah. So shoot. It's nice how you have it here, but it's working on building on a picture that's more extrovert, it's more loud than only this, and having a connection. Oh yes, it's the shutter drag. Yes.
Yeah, drag the shutter. Yeah, I know it. I try it a lot, but to get it like that is still has work for me.
Yeah. Okay, for this picture, this is like a long shutter time. I think it's a choice. I'm not about that kind of things. For me, it has to be sharp. So I would like to see this maybe with flashes or maybe just, but not like blurry on the foreground and these hands going everywhere blurry, because it's also because for the hand of the bride, of her hand is in front of her groom or dad. I like the layering. Yes, and I see the musicians are in the van. I see that too. For me, it's a little bit too far away, I think. For sure, I would like to crop him. The guy on the right could go out because it's half a guy in the eye. I would add a person totally, or with maybe the ears, but not in the middle of the eye, or like cutted hands. I would not recommend that. For me, this would be
like this.
Yeah, maybe a little bit higher under the hand of this woman. So a little bit higher. Yes, like, oh, that's too, yes, something like this maybe. And maybe I would crop it more on the left a little bit. I don't, up left and then behind, yes. So I see more what's happening on the background right now. There's more information. It's very interesting that they're having musicians in a van. So for me, I would like to stand next to the wedding couple and shoot it with the van on the background, and have a shutter speed that's much more faster. I like the layering like this, but yeah, then I would wait for more expressions. This lady on the right doesn't add it. She's interrupting the picture. I would love to see her dancing too. So a little bit more closer and then waiting with the high shutter speed. I would recommend that. Yes.
Yeah, for me, this image or this situation really feels kind of like a candy store, because there's so much going on. There's so many different layers that you can work with. I would love to be in your position and experience this kind of situations.
Yeah.
For me, the focus is actually on the people in the back. So they are in focus or not moving, and the people in the van are in focus. But the bride, she's the brightest spot of the picture. So my eyes are attracted to her, and she's in motion blur, which doesn't work for me with the background that is more into focus. So either if you want to, if I think would approach this scene, I would just a higher shutter speed, work on my layers to make it perfect. Make sure that like you've got perfectly this women in the left and the back is perfectly framed within the arms of the couple dancing in the front. Those kind of layers I would build up into the entire frame. Wait till that happens, and when you think you don't have a picture that can get any better in terms of layers and connections, I would start to play, and then maybe play with the shutter speed. Maybe have the bride in focus and have all the other people spin around her, stuff like that. So for me, I don't know what kind of pictures have been shot before this one, but this would be my end game. like if I'm solid, I've got all the layers like in a regular way positioned, and I think I've got it. I still have some time to play because the situation is still happening. Then I would maybe focusing on, okay, how can I maybe creatively add some extra elements like with the movement, etc. But I would really start with building strong layers with a higher shutter speed first. Yeah, it's a nice picture, a nice client picture. It's how do you say it? I think it's a not sunrise, sunset. That's the other way. I would move a little further away from the client, because for me this picture feels like, I like to call it medium. It's not a close-up, but it's also not like an environmental portrait. And if you want to have the skyline be part of your picture, I think you should be way further away from your couple. Get lower, see if you can have this a large highlight of the sun behind the couple, and then really work with all the nice yellow colors that you have in the sky. And they're also just standing there. See, like we said with the previous photo, like get some movement, get some connection, maybe let them dance a little bit, let them twirl a little bit. If you work with silhouettes, it's a little bit dull if you just let people just stand there. What if she leans over with a hand? There's so many ways to get more dynamic in this picture. This would be a nice starting point, but from then on, build it out. How can you make more of the environment that you have here?
Yes, I totally agree. So take some distance and took the picture from the ground. So this horizon is not in the middle, but low. So you have more sky behind them. And also movement, body language is the expression of the picture. And now it's to post. Yeah, I would like to see fun, feel the picture a bit more. And that's very difficult with the silhouette. But you can make that happen with movement, with extrovert body language. So yeah, it's actually the same Linda said, but I totally agree. Yeah. Yes, I think this is the first look. I'm not sure if this is the first look or this is just an in-between moment that somebody sees the bride. Or no, these are the doors for the ceremony that she can come in or something. Well, it is already not clear. I don't know what the what the story is. So maybe it's a nice picture to look at, but I don't understand the story. So I need some more information of those hands. If you want to make a very artistic, symmetric picture, then you may have to make it perfect. I like imperfections, but if you want to do it abstract and make an arty picture, perfection is needed for that. So I think then the background is too crowdy. You need her head in the sky, and you need to really more symmetric. But for me, this is like a storytelling picture that is not clear, and you try to make it arty. And that's a very difficult situation to make that work, those three things. So for me, I would choose to take some distance that I can understand what's going on and let go of the arty situation, because I think that's too complicated to understand the picture.
Yeah, for me, this picture almost feels like there's a body cam on the groom, and he's like opening the doors, and you're like experiencing his point of view, seeing his bride for the first time. I think, oh, we lost Irina. I think that's what I think the photographer intended with this picture. But in order to get those hands in, you need a very wide lens. But in order to get the bride fully positioned, you actually need, I think, a longer lens. So I think you try to include two elements which don't work with just one lens. in this way, because you cannot go behind, because then you're actually in the room, because I understand you only have this limited space to be there before the hands are between the groom and the door. So but this wide lens is helping you get those hands there, but then either the bride should be way closer, or somehow the gap between the door and all the space around her needs to be tighter, needs to be filled. So I think it's a nice creative idea, but it's something also to play with, and she feels very staged, and also like more making connection with the photographer than like like a bride that you're expecting to give a first look to a groom. So I have a lot of questions about, is this really a first look or not? Or are they actually maybe two hands of separate people? Is it actually a groom that I'm assuming it is? Or is it one watch and one hand and maybe another watch as well? Then it should be two different persons. So a lot of going on in my mind. But I think the background and the way the bride is positioned, it's not working in the best way to execute this picture. It's not a first look. Okay, and then I think it's just a creative way of during a portrait or a post session. But then I think still the background should be cleaner, and the bride should be more connected to the front of the picture. There's now too much space in between them.
Yes.
It's staged, yeah. Yeah, it feels staged as well.
Yes.
And it's not a problem to stage things, but I think the key is to stage things and then revoke some genuine moments. And I think that's it.
And it's like a voyeur. I don't know the English words. It's like that you're watching the brides in a secret way. That's the idea. Maybe you try to create a stage picture like that, but then the bride should do her thing, like doing her lipstick, or she has to do something, but she has no clue that somebody's watching. So, but now she's like, ta-da, I'm posing here, and I don't know. Maybe
her expression almost says like, "Are you done?" Instead of, "Oh, I'm surprised."
Yes. So try to work it out. If you have a creative idea, that's always good, and play with that and try some different things till you're really satisfied about. A lot of people are just doing one thing and they stop. Just go on, try to do it again. Try some different angle. Try to let her doing something, doing some lipstick or dancing, or I don't know, something, but not looking into the camera. So, building on a picture again.
Yeah, and I really get the idea of him opening the door and seeing her. I think that shows to the picture, Alain. But also, like I said, you said like you're using a 16mm lens, which works for the hands, but it gives a lot of extra space around her. So somehow maybe 24 would do it maybe better but then you lose the hand. So it's playing. And sometimes you also have these ideas that you just, you have them in your head, and while executing, I'm already like, okay, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, next. But I try, and I applaud you for trying here. Yeah. Okay. Like you said, guests were coming. And then sometimes it's just, it is what it is. And then you're moving on to the next scene and create your magic there.
Yeah.
Creative ring pictures. Yeah, I think we're sometimes a little bit spoiled with how creative people get with rings. I really like it. But I also love playing Pac-Man. So it's a fun way of showing something. I'm always wondering if this couple is really into Tetris as well. Do they have something special with gaming or video stuff? Or is it just something that the photographer created? We've seen a lot of the Star Wars rings hanging in the Force, stuff like that. I feel this 10 years ago, you saw a lot of rings with put on the magmod lights with all the drops of rain and sparkling and stuff, and we're getting more to a more storytelling, more creative, different way of showing ring pictures. Like you said, they gave you the Pac-Man things. It's part of the couple. I think it's a really nice way to express their love for something and include the rings as well.
Yeah, I think then you have a great client picture. They're very happy with that. So I think, could you do more? No, I don't know. Maybe that he's looking at. I think you tried a lot of ring pictures. That the Pac-Man is looking at the ring or something. It's nice if the client gave you. For me, I never shoot rings, or almost never, because it's like a must-have for a lot of photographers. Not for me, because I think you have them around your finger the rest of your life. I shoot the details, but the details that are not remaining, like how the hair is of the bride, your bouquet, because it disappears, but rings are staying. And to be honest, I think it's very difficult to still be, it's not my thing to be creative with rings. I think, oh, everybody did it already. So for me, it's also that I am excited about a ring picture. It almost never happens. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen it before. But I love it that the clients love it, because then you really add something for them, and I would always do that. If the clients wants this, of course, and I take good effort for this, I can make them happy. But for myself, it's not my creative way to go along with those kind of pictures. And but it's still funny to see sometimes a ring picture like this. I like it much more than you do it in a bouquet or something.
We've seen those. So nice creative way to do a ring shot.
It's symmetric, and that's cool, and it's a silhouette. I love it. And I see also, you make a crop already. Oh no, almost symmetric. Yes,
almost. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, need to be completely straight. Sorry.
Oh, it's already yours. It's your lucky day. So, what can I say? I don't know if it's necessarily that you see the full environment. I love the sky. I love that you took it like symmetric. I think, of course, the wedding couple could be a little bit having more body language, especially the man, because we always say the penguin pose is like, ooh. So, you want to see that he loves his woman. This woman has nice curves. I think it's very elegant. Maybe a crop would be more interesting. Because it's really like you see it this way, and I took it this way, and it's again the starting point from building a picture. Try to get the best creative thing out of it. So maybe after it with a crop. I don't know.
How tight would you suggest a crop? Like this almost, or?
Yeah, maybe. You could do like 5 till 10 crops with this picture. Just with editing, this is very nice to play with. And try some very weird crops at home to think more creative. So the next time you have a situation like this, you already look in another way.
I don't know. You can play around with it. I played around with it a little bit for you. The only thing I was looking at, like you still see like the sun, and I think you cannot say, okay, sun, let's go. I'm gonna move you away. It's not gonna happen. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna try to put this back. Wait. So there's this white highlight on the right of the couple. Maybe you can brush it away a little bit, but I think there's not enough information or pixels because there's quite a contrast with the yellow and the orange. But for the rest, I think nice. Make sure your horizon is completely straight if you do this kind of pictures. And like Isabelle suggested, see if he can add something there as well. Now he's just standing there, and really, I think movement showing. Maybe if she already has her hand over his shoulder, it also breaks a little bit, and then see what that kind of stuff does. So I would just play. It's a very. I think it's a situation or a scene that you can do a lot of things creatively with.
Okay, good. Try the next one.
Okay, I would first crop this one immediately. It's a nice scene. I always like to include like street photography or like street scenes when you have the chance to be on the street with a couple. I don't know if it's the best crop, but at least to show you can even a little bit more maybe.
Maybe under his that he's sitting down, you cut his full. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit like with the feet, like we said before, like I want to be.
Yeah.
As well. Someone just suggests the AI to add feet, but I think you should always work from camera first, and then we'll see what Photoshop can help with. It's staged, I think. They're standing in the street, having the music. I would love to see them more dancing, and I would love to have them be positioned a little bit more to the right in the frame. Now there's a person behind them just walking away. I think, especially if your couple wants to just stand here, I have a lot of my clients. They most of the time are always in a hurry. So when I'm in the street, I have like a mini second to capture how they're walking. So I'm always running in front of them, positioning myself next to the musician, and then waiting for them to pass, and then I run again. That's basically how my shootings with my couples work. But they look like they are willing to stand here to have a moment to really pose and have this guy included. So I would just position them more to the right, stand maybe even next to the hands of the guy to only get the instrument maybe, and then let them twirl around a little bit. I think you've got a great starting point to be a lot more creative with this scene.
Yes, I agree again. But I also think if you walk by and you see this musician and you have this wedding couple, oh, let's dance. I think you have to make it going crazy, this musician has to show his passion for music, like la 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 la, and the wedding couple has to dance, and you have to really get this vibe in this picture. And now it's like, oh, that would be a nice idea, but you really need to create this memory, that you are having fun with the musician on the streets and they're dancing. So it has to be some real moments also included, like not we're doing this for the picture, like we're standing like this, like we're dancing, and then we can go on. I would like have fun with each other, play with this, let them real dance, and if they're not into it, then don't make that kind of picture, then just use the beautiful architecture or something. But I like to see the connection, that they're really into the music and this musician is really into making music, and then you feel the picture. Now it's like I'm looking at the post picture. So it's a nice idea, but then work it out. Yeah. For me, I love the architecture, and of course I love it that they have a beautiful venue. For me, it's like, oh, where's the wedding couple? Oh, it's there. Of course, it's nice to include a venue with the first dance. But if you want to do this, on the right, you have really harsh highlights that are like overlighted a bit. So I don't know if I would make that picture a little bit more dark and then brush it back or something, but it's overlighted on the right, and my eye goes right through that and to the sky. I don't see the wedding couple, so I need better light on the right. And if you want to include the venue with the first dance, then just wait till the wedding couple's more close to your lens, so you have this wedding couple that you can see it, because now I have to see from what I see a beautiful venue, but what is going on? I have to search. And I just want to feel this wedding couple, they're having their first dance yesterday in a beautiful venue. So when they're more close to the lens, then you have an idea what's going on, and you also see the venue. That's a bit what I see at the first sight.
Yeah. And straighten. It's not straightened. So it's a very, I would really work on this. How could I crop this and get it straightened out as straight as possible? I can hardly see it, but like you said, the wedding couple, and there's a lot of people around the wedding couple that they're not clean. They're it's almost like this group of blur of people and they're all put together, and the couple doesn't stand out for me enough. I think it's an amazing venue with a lot of potential. I would even maybe just I would personally maybe get into the smoke, get really close, maybe get the smoke, and then from below with the couple, and then maybe try to frame them somewhere in the venue, in the beautiful ceiling that you have. Maybe if you want to go crazy, and maybe sometimes you can include a mirror and see it. Like if you don't get the top of your building inside the frame, I try to just put my phone in front of my lens and then have that reflection work with the couple as well, and try to include that in a creative way. There are a lot of creative possibilities here. For me now, it feels too straightforward. And I think the hero in this picture is the ceiling of the venue and not the wedding couple. And I think those should at least make a connection. And that's what I'm missing in this picture right now.
Yes, and maybe you can make a crop without the people on the right. Like try to make, maybe a little bit to the left.
I like the two guys with the
I want the lady in the red also included, because something like this. Like, can I see it? I would love this already a bit more. I love the ceiling, of course, but I would try this for another situation. But if you have the situation far away as this, for me, it's
they're going around. Wait for the couple to be like in the center, where like the purple holes, to have them maybe framed in that way, and that they need to be more separate from the people in the back.
Yes.
But I think you can work with crops, and I think this crop that eliminates a lot of your pictures still shows the building and the venue without actually having to show the whole thing. It's symmetrical, so if you only have half a part, you still have you have the same, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the magic is happening in the back, and there's a lot of contrast in this picture. There's actually a person being thrown in the air, and I want to be there. I think this is where you should have been with your camera. I see. So the people in the foreground, it's nice. So my first impression, if you look at this picture, is like, oh, that's nice, and there's smoke, and it's a creative way of working with contrast and silhouettes in this dancing kind of situation. And then the second look I see these legs coming up in the air, and I think, well, that is where the magic is, and that is why I think you should have been a lot closer as a photographer to really tell the story there, because that's just what makes it different, but it's not something you see firsthand when looking at the picture.
Yeah, I totally agree, because Linda told me about what's happening on the background. I didn't even see it. For me, it was like I see two white shirts, because my eye is leading to that, and you don't want to see those back. So it's very hard for a lot of photographers to come close, but it's our job to come close and get that emotions and that moments. We are allowed to that. They hire us for this. So if you have a lot of backs on your picture, you can take your place more. You can just stand there, and it's okay. You can come close and make that shot, because this is actually not clear. It's too far away, and maybe it's not about the people on the background. It could be that the photographer, just wants to show the dancing people. I don't know. But then still wait that you don't see a lot of backs from people. Yeah.
Backs are boring, basically. They're just, especially when men at wedding, they're just white, square, semi-square things that are just there. Backs often don't contain an expression or a feeling or a connection to other people. Of course, if you have a bride that has a beautiful bag with a tattoo on it, that has a storytelling element for me. But most bags are just there to fill a frame, and if they're used to fill a frame, it's not working for me. It's like it's not actually a layer. It's just a blank space with not much information to tell me about the actual person that it's in the frame. So eliminate as much bags, CKS, as possible. And yeah, you have. I think people are having so much fun here. You could easily just dive right in. You have the lady that was almost in the center. She has a really nice expression. If you would be like closer to her, maybe use her as a front layer, and then the crazy legs in the back. There's a lot of options and potential in here, and it's just question yourself: am I in the right position? Where is the story? Where do I need to be to tell the story the best way possible? And really challenge yourself to also chase that story during long hours that we make, especially at parties as well.
Yes, I think this picture is made with a 70-100 millimeters or 85. This kind of situations, and when you make layers, I would really recommend to do it by the 35, 28, 24 millimeters, and come more close, because then you can feel the picture more. And also not taking it by 2.8 aperture, but at least 4 to read the picture. I already said that again, but I keep repeating. And I love it that the photographer sees what happens behind the obvious, the rings and stuff. So that's very good, that you're not looking at the first layer, but looking at the second layer. What's really happening? That's a mind shift. It could also be the second shooter who took this picture, because he's standing on the left, on the shy angle. We call that the shy angle. It's not in front of the couple. It's like you make pictures here, it's in front. You really need to take pictures here, and the shy angle is a little bit like, oh, I'm too shy to make a picture in front of you. So that's why I make me think, because it's like an 85 or 70, 200 millimeters.
85, 2.8.
What is it?
It's an 85.
An 85, yes. That it's the second shooter, also because it's really to the left. So for a second shooter, I think it's a very good picture that you see what's happening. It's your job to see also what's happening on the background. If you were the first shooter, I would say and prefer you took it with another lens, being more in front of the wedding couple, and shoot through the wedding couple for the emotions of the parents. And you only need some hands of rings, maybe not faces, could be. That would be my recommendation. And maybe wait for more emotions. I would love to see the dad crying too. Maybe he does. He has something in his hand. So yeah, it depends on the situation. I think it's a very nice picture for the wedding couple, because I heard it before. If I deliver this kind of pictures to my clients, they always say, oh, I was wondering how the people in the background were reacting, how my mom was looking. They don't see that. They only see each other in those moments. So it's very good to deliver this kind of pictures to your clients for memories. Yeah.
No, I basically had the same suggestion. In order to take this picture, I think the second layer is the strongest here, but get in front of those hands where they exchange rings and then see those response. And it's like what we said with the previous picture. There's a big back in the picture. This is big blank canvas basically that doesn't say a lot. She has a little bit of expression, and then the parents. But I think a third of the picture contains lack of information. It's just someone's behind. So also work with that. See how you can also maybe include his expression. And I think you definitely need to move 2 steps to the right to get that. Okay. Just gonna quickly, sorry, okay, my screen. Where we are. There's 7 photos to go. yeah, I really like this kind of, how do you say, like this behind the scenes things, because weddings aren't built in a day. They take a lot of time, preparation, and especially on the day itself, a lot of work from a lot of different people. I think the fact that I really like to also make pictures of people setting up the things and everything. I really like that the wedding dress is included here as well. It's a really strong storytelling element that's been added to this picture. What the highlights in the sky are really like setting me off a little bit with this edit. I think the guy in the front, he can get a little bit lighter, but I feel like the sky has been it's been highly overexposed, and the edit tried to cover up for that, but that's, yeah, I don't think it's really exposed. And by the way, I see people in the back, and now I'm looking at it longer, they're having dinner, and then so the guests are, I think storytelling wise, this is a really good picture. You could have a look at your edits and maybe expose you for the next time, but yeah, I really love this kind of images.
Yes, me too. I really love the behind the scenes. You see how hard this photographer works. He always has an eye on what happens all around, the must-haves, and is looking for stories. And he found one, or she found one. I would wait till it's like chairs, that he's carrying chairs. I would wait till he's building up these chairs a little bit more closer. For the first row or something, or I don't know, but now it's too far away. It's like you have the chairs and you have the background, and then it's not really mixed, blending into each other in a good way. It's too far away from each other. I can see the scenery, I can see the story, but it takes a long time before I understand what's going on. So to work on that, maybe only coming more close to this man who is putting the chairs on, or maybe going a little bit to the right and wait till he's more closer. That would be enough. Or when he is at the last row, more close to the dinner, yeah. That would be the perfect spot. So you have to anticipate, like, what is the best row to make this story, make it work, that he's building off the ceremony spots, and they're already having dinner at the background. I want this story, these two stories included in one frame. How I'm going to do that? You really have to do, okay, you have to stand a little bit more to the right. You can try these compositions, because he's doing that. Everybody is doing their thing for at least 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So work on your frame, building on it from different kind of angles. And well, I think the best angle would be more close to the dinner at the 1 or 2 second row, and then he's close to that row and taking the chairs off.
Yeah, it's a really good addition.
Yes, I really love, again, about looking for stories in one frame. It's not only the bride who's getting ready, but also what's happening around it. But then still, that's nice, but then still you have to think about who is getting up that chair. It's only somebody who is going upstairs. So it's very nice to have 2 stories in it. Left is a story that really is clear, that's getting ready. But on the right, you have the story that I don't think it's connected till the left story, like somebody's getting up to the stair, but it's an action. It's not a story. And if you had that she had the dress in her hand, and you saw something of the dress upstairs, then it has something to do with the getting ready. So it has to make sense what's happening on the right. It needs to have a contrast or a connection with the story on the left. So it's a good starting point, but then wait. What are the people? They're running up and going upstairs and downstairs, and look at their behavior and see if there's something interesting what happens on that stair, and then you get that image again. You can build the full getting ready on this image till there really is something happening on the right.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect spot that you need to, if you see this, you spot this, stay there, and then wait for the story to happen. I would maybe tilt my camera up a little bit, see if I can close the highlights or the window that's in top of the head of the lady in the left corner. It's a little bit distracting. So I think if you get a little bit higher, then the stairs will crop away. You know what I mean? You can change the scene there a little bit. So then you will block the window, and then it's waiting for an element. And I think I see a lot of this trying to fit two stories into one, like maybe one person getting ready in one room, one person in the other. But I think the two things should be connected in order to be something special. Than just, okay, we try to put two elements together, but they don't fit yet. And I think you need to wait for that fit, just like Isabelle said. Yeah. I think this is really well framed. Really, I really love that this is what when we talk about square up stuff, really well framed as a square. You don't need to see the entire people. You see the bride with the vacuum cleaner, that's enough, and then the person standing on the right and the person on the left. So I really like how this frame is compositioned. Then my next question is there really a moment here, or is it just the bride that's vacuum cleaning? And is that situation weird or crazy enough to make this an exceptional photograph? I think it's a nice situation, but not something really special or really expressive is happening for me that makes it a moment for me, like a moment-driven picture. And I honestly don't know how it would become more moment-driven. It shows her personality, that she keeps helping. She's the bride. She's not waiting for others to pick up her trash, but she's even helping. Maybe it's in her house. I don't know. But I'm just wondering could there be more, maybe, to add a little extra element to make it a little bit more like she would be laughing or like, oh my God, what's happening? I don't know. It's lacking a little bit of expression for me.
Yeah, for me, it feels set up again. Like, oh, that's funny. The bride is cleaning up and not the guests. So if I have the feeling that it's set up, I'm like, I'm not there anymore. For a long
I don't think it's set up. I saw the comment like it's an authentic moment. I really feel that this is an authentic moment as well. I don't think that it has been set up, but
Okay.
it's what I meant before, that it's not a moment in terms of a feeling is happening. It's more of an action, and as a reaction we take this photo. But is it the registration of what happened, or is it the translation of a feeling? And I want to have it more in terms of translation of a feeling that I'm missing in this picture. I hope that makes sense, that it's when I'm saying like I'm missing a moment, that I don't think it's staged, but it's more that I'm missing like an expression or something, a connection from her to the picture. Sorry, Isabelle, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, it's good that I read it as an authentic moment. My feeling is set up. It doesn't matter, of course, because, but I still think, regardless of this, it's a potential. It has potential for awards. This picture, I think. For me, I would not choose it because, for me, I have to feel a picture that's really important. But for a lot of judge photographers, they think, oh, it's funny, but as you said, if it's set up or I don't feel them, it's just an action. It's very personal, you know. I really like the crop, the composition, as you tell already, and it's very funny that she's cleaning up. Of course, that's a potential situation. So that's very good. It's good that you were also in the right angle. And, well, I hope you shoot more pictures. Maybe there was also that she was like, ew, or that she was like, ha, 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 ha. I would like to see that. Then I have more connection with the picture. Yeah, for me, this first thing is I love the composition, but I would like to see it in color.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, did she had this is like green grass. what was the color of her dress? Like red or pink? That would be a lovely contrast. And the composition is good, but I should really work on this picture. If you have something with this, I would play around all the time and look if this child forgot you and looking at the balloon like, oh, with her head in the clouds is a dreamy girl who's laying on the grass and not looking into the camera like this, but that she is in her own dreamy world. I would love to see this kind of picture that you could imagine that you would be that little girl laying down in the grass. So that's, I should work on this picture a little bit more, but it is already very nice and I would love to see it in color.
Yeah, I agree. I think the whole composition is very dreamy, like with her dress and everything. And I think her expression, it's in camera, but still has a little bit nostalgia in it, which I think is good. But I love it. I would love it even more if she would just be dreaming away and be like in her own world, and you create this beautiful world around her with the composition. Champagne. Yeah, this is a very, very well compositioned image. Yeah, the layers are there, the expression is there. Yeah, it would have been nice to see the groom as well instead of the hand of the guy holding the champagne. But I think in terms of what's happening here, I think this is the best possible way that you could have captured this. I think the editing is quite visible, which can be your style, which is always very personal how people would like to edit. But I think the whites on the face of the bride are a little bit too brushed for my taste, and the same for the women on the right. They're not in the same, like if you compare to the guy that's holding the champagne. And I'm wondering a little bit of the same for the background. It's very dark. If you have maybe burned it a little bit more than you should have. I always love, I think this is well lit with flashes and everything. So I think a little bit of information in the background should be okay. I think your foreground is well lit. So there I have a little bit of questions about that. If I'm judging for competitions and I see that it's been burned too much, so information has been taken out of the scene by burning it, I would not select it. And for me, this picture is like, I would doubt a little bit. I see some spots where I have question, like if there's more information behind it. And if that suggestion might come across in my mind, I would maybe let go of this image. But it has great potential. I would just maybe cut back a little bit of the edit. And then, yeah, I really love the expression of the guy with the champagne. But there's also at his arm, you can see where his arm is connected to the groom. You almost cannot see the information. You cannot almost see his shirt anymore, because there's not how do you say it? There's not enough contrast from the background and his black shirt. But there's something behind his arm where his arm starts. I don't have a pointer, sorry. I'm trying to explain. When you see where his arm is touching the groom's head, there's some extra white as well. So it feels that there's been some editing and brushes, but it doesn't fit the right way. And I think you should definitely relook at that for this scene, because you've got a great scene and I don't think it needs that much of editing.
Yes, I kind of agree. I am okay with burning the background and don't see something in the blacks. For me, it's more, it's very personal, you know, when you're judging a picture. For me, it's like I have to feel that it's genuine. And I really think this is the decisive moment. You could not do it better. I think you choose the best picture of the full shot you took. For me, it's more the editing, the bottom of the cake. It should be white. And now it's like not, I don't, you know, it's gray. For me, it's like, I was thinking about a crop, but then I thought, no, I love those people also on the right. So for me, I would edit a bit better with the bottom of the cake, and that it's also white like the rest of the cake. And yeah, maybe the backgrounds, what Linda said, I also should take a look at it, because if you would send this for awards, you have to make clear that it's perfect. It's like totally, you have to edit every detail and look at it again.
Yeah, but it's like Isabelle said, the decisive moment, it's there.
Yeah,
it's perfection. And I think this is the way we would love to see how champagne flows, and not just a put and then a little bit. This is the action that you hope people will bring to the table when they try to open a bottle of champagne. This is what we hope for. And I think the girl, and it's my response. I'm still like always like, I'm here with the camera. I'm really like chickening out when there's this champagne going on, and she really adds it to the scene. So for me, it's just tweaking the editing, and then make sure you get a fearless stamp on it next round. There's Marius.
Yes. I love, again, 2 stories in one picture. The framing, it's perfect. I think it's the first look for her parents. Marius says, sorry. Yeah. No. It's girls' night. Yeah, girls' night. I think it's a kind of first look for their parents before with the bride. I have that feeling. Yes, okay, that's nice. And I love it because she's like having this silent emotion, like, ooh, it's almost happening. And they having on the background, those parents have like their moment together before they're going to see their daughter. That's what a feeling, that's the story I have in my mind when I see this. But it could be also something else. I don't know. I would do something about the edits about it. Maybe the right a little bit more lighter, that you see the parents a little bit better. And the bride, maybe I would love to see the other frames of this moment, because if the bride is looking to the wall, like, are they coming? Like, who? Then it would be more clear about a first look with their parents or something. Now I have to guess that it's not clear, but it's still a beautiful picture, but if you want to make it better, maybe in the emotions and the reactions on each other, I need, because there's now is not a connection between the 2 frames, and I have to be very creative to have a story in my mind. Am I clear? Sometimes it's so difficult to explain in English. Yeah.
This feels, I think this is a perfect example that I don't know if it happens, but I can imagine in my mind that there's this moment that the bride says, okay, I want to do a first look with my parents. And as a photographer said, okay, wait here, and I will get your parents, and then you take position. So you kind of stage it, but it feels super authentic. She's not like looking at the camera like, are they there yet? Are they there? She's just in her own zone. I really feel anticipation in the way that she stands and how she's holding her fingers, and this, I want to make my dress look good, and then I'm already smiling. You see the nerves. So I really love that. The one thing that came to mind when going to this picture, that the parents kind of attract me the most when looking at this picture. I don't know if it's the angle or that they're coming out of a door. So I was wondering what this picture would have looked like if the parents would be in focus and the bride would be out of focus. I think it might be stronger. I think you can get away with the bride being focused now, because still the story and the symmetry and everything works well, but we have a tendency to look further into a picture, and as the parents are more in the back, or the grandparents, that is what my eye is drawn to most, and especially with the door where they're coming from. I think that would be my own suggestion for take a look at, okay, where are the leading lines in your frame? are there doors, window, how do you call it, mirrors, stuff like that, where where our eyes are looking at, and maybe shift focus. And even if you're indecisive, maybe in the moment, switch it. Like take a few with the bride in focus, with the parents in focus, and then that you have something back home to choose from.
Yes, I also think because the parents attracts us is not only because it's the second layer, because our eyes always wants to be in focus with second or third layers, but also because we have some eyes. If we were seeing some eye, then eyes wants to see eyes. Yes, how you say when somebody looks at this and you see this, it's just like more a thing that's maybe in another moment it was, yes, the focus is on the bride is the best combination, but now you want to see the connection between the parents first. That attracts the most. I agree. I have also that with the parents in focus, but I thought this is better. I would love to see the parents in focus. Yeah. Yes, I'm curious. It depends on the bride, of course, what she's doing then. But
yeah, it's sometimes maybe it can be better in focus, but then they just miss this love, this connection. It's in this kind of frames, it's this millisecond that can make a difference. But I think the way you've set up this frame and capturing those two stories, it's
very well.
I really love it. It's very well done. Okay. Yeah, this is for me a picture where a photographer is trying to get the groom in the window, to get the bride out of the car. But I think the story is actually there's too much in the frame that's necessary. I'm going to crop this a little bit. I think this is where it is, and maybe if you can include the hand as well, then you already have it. Maybe let's see if you can try. But this is, I think, a picture where you can try to crop to make the most out of it, but that should have been executed better while photographing it. I will show this as a crop, because I think there should be more window to the left. I think if you keep the window to the left and then her to the right and only with the hands, you can make this really like mind trick, like, hey, I can see who it is in the reflection. And I don't think you need to have the whole environment to really tell a story in this picture. On the other hand, is there a story, or is it just a bride getting out of the car? I think if she looked looked him in the eyes, he's already looking at her. And I think if you wait for this moment, because a bride, when she comes out of the car, the first thing she does is look at her feet to make sure they're well put on the street, that she's not stepping on her dress. And then she gets up and most of the time also looks up. And I think that is the moment you should have waited for, when her eyes would be meeting her eyes, and then capture it in these two frames, the door on the front and the door of the back of the car.
Yes, I totally agree. Maybe a little bit with this, that you do a little bit step to the right, so you're more close to the bride, and not too much, otherwise you see yourself in a reflection. But a little bit more to the right would give more a close composition between the bride and the reflection. Now there is a gap in the middle, you see, from the door. So it's micro-composing, but just a step to the right would also make it more interesting, I think. And then exactly what you say, exclude the environment.
Yeah, because you got a lot of bright light going on in the background, and you got a beautiful black car that you can use as your canvas, basically. So see if you can just have your full frame filled with the black car, let go of the highlights, and then position yourself the best way possible. Oh, sorry. It's the last image.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's a decisive shot again. I like it because for me, it's like he looks right into the eyes of the priest of a moment. I don't know if it's like a religion moment that he get the crown in front of his head or something, and that he has to look. it's very nice that you can see the eyes of this ceremonial moments, but it's like the middle points, photographer's points. I would do step a little bit to the right, that I have more of the priests and less of the left, that you have the groom on the left. So it's now like you have the groom in the middle, but I don't have the information on the left. It adds nothing. Then I would do a step further, and then I see all the backgrounds when it's happening, but now it's just like a portrait with some lacking of information on the left. So I would do a little bit to the right and then make this shot, I think.
Yeah, for me, I think this kind of shot either should be like completely focused on the eye. So if you cannot get there that close with your 35, really get a longer lens and really have the eye and the crown excluded. And I've seen quite a few of images that contains that, where I've seen also the bride, which is just her eye, and it's a thing I've seen before. So I think it should be really well executed, working with symmetry and what you want to have included here. This particular shot feels a little bit tight. I don't know where it's cropped or not. Make sure that your horizontal, how do you call it? Your lines are straight, especially the line in the back that's behind his head. Try to tilt it a little bit. But I also would love to see more included. There's a guy, I think there's a guy looking at the corsage standing on the left of him. Who are there? And now this shot kind of feels medium for me. It's not an environmental shot where we can see where we are in the church, which part of the ceremony. And it's also not like the really close up. So I think you should make a decision in this shot. And I don't think for this shot that you can crop it anymore. But that's what's my final advice.
Marius Tudor, it was a long evening. Yes,
it was, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of pictures.
Well, you are amazing, both of you. A lot of energy and great advice. And I don't know how is that for other photographers. To me, this is huge, even after 15 years. Doing that. It's like a workshop or like a good one.
Oh, we do this also in Holland with online in our communities. Like
I think it's extremely useful.
Good.
It's so good to see from other people's perspective, from another culture. From I think we have a lot to learn from that. And I cannot thank you enough for your generosity, for offering us your time and
you're welcome.
A lot of great advice.
Wow.
You're always welcome. I really love what you guys are doing for Romania with the Weddcamp community. And if I can be of any assistance of help, you know it, Marius knows it, you can always ask me. And
yes, always very nice. Yes, and let's say it was like a workshop. How much do you owe you? Yeah, we want a dinner.
and dinner at the cottage.
and you have 5 minutes to go and select. These are the pictures that we get. So yeah.
Marius made a selection for us, and at first I was like, only 30 pictures. I think we're done in 30 minutes, but no, we know how to take our time.
I don't know if you're trained to have to see more details as women. I don't know. I think it's like common. It's normal in Holland that we give critiques like this, men and women.
Yeah. And I think we both are doing it a lot. Isabelle does a lot of mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring. This is how we go through pictures with our students as well. So yeah, in that sense, I think we're also trained at giving critique.
Yes, it's
fun.
Yeah, it's very fun to do.
Yeah,
it's
very. You are doing a great job.
Yes,
and as a team, you are fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and it's like the level of Romania is always good, so it's very nice to critique because it's not in every country as good as in Romania. I always being surprised about it. So it's like so different in every country. Yeah, so I think it's also a good community that you learn also each other a lot in Romania because a lot of good photographers are coming from Romania.
Thank you, and hope to have you again here.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yes, I hope so too. I loved it.
We already miss both of you and your father, Isabelle.
Yeah. How is he doing? Huh? He's doing well. He had some.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, he will come, of course. But, you know that he had some difficult times. He was very ill, and now he's better.
Oh.
Yes, he's feeling better now, and he's still working, and he will stop working. He's 75 or something, and now he decided to stop working. So, yeah, and enjoy his time.
I hope you all will have time to visit us again.
Yes, of course, and you're welcome here, of course.
Yeah.
With Robert and Marius and everybody. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It has been a very nice and fun and beautiful evening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay.
Marius is back. We cannot hear you. Try again. We still cannot hear you.
Yes.
Marius
is signing.
No. Marius, we cannot hear you.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, there he is.
Thank you again for a beautiful evening. We have to end this session because we are already 20 minutes over the time
that's how we roll.
We asked you to be with us. So thank you for staying 20 more minutes, which is amazing. I mean, so we are going to end the session with the video we started.
Yes.
Nice.
So if you have any last thoughts to say to the community, share your thoughts. Otherwise,
keep up sharing and keep up coming to Weddcamp and learn from each other. I think
yes, and have fun. Play with your photography all the time. Keep trying. Keep pushing. Keep shooting.
Keep experimenting. It's fun. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
welcome.
Thank
you so much.
Take care.
Have a good evening and see you next time, maybe at Weddcamp 2026 or 2027. Who knows?
Who knows? Thank you.
Love to.
Bye.
Have a lovely evening. Take care.
Good evening. Bye.
Okay, let's run.
Let's count them down. 60 seconds.
59.
58.
57.
56.
55.
54.
53.
52.
51. 50.
49.
48.
47.
46.
45.
44.
43.
42.
41.
40.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
33.
32.
31.
30.
29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
9.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
Just kidding.
7.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1.